Welcome back to PH.d TV, and today I'm going to be ranking all of the Batman films. And now I'm going to be talking about the 8 movies starting from Batman 1989 to now, not talking about the movies where there's a Batman collaboration. So Batman vs. Superman and Justice League are out of this competition, if you want to call it a competition ranking. So with that being said, let's do it. 8 movies starting at number 8, which is Batman and Robin.
My name is Freeze. Learn it well, for it's the chilling sound of your doom.
This is the way the world could end.
Please, show some mercy.
With ice. With a kiss.
With venom. I probably should have mentioned this. I'm poison. Poison ivy.
And the only man who can stop them
Hi, Freeze. I'm Batman.
can't do it alone.
Batman will watch his beloved Gotham perish. Bundle up, boys. There's a storm coming. Kill the heroes!
It's a hockey team from hell.
Cool party.
Arnold Schwarzenegger,
All right, everyone, chill.
George Clooney,
I'm not the marrying kind.
I know you've had your wild nights.
Good night. Wild doesn't quite cover it.
Chris O'Donnell,
Come join me. My garden needs tending.
She loves me and not you, and it's driving you crazy.
This is why Superman works alone.
Uma Thurman,
So many people to kill. So little time.
Alicia Silverstone,
And you are?
Batgirl.
That's not awfully PC. What about Bat Person?
Found the Batcave.
She knows who we are.
Guess we'll just have to kill her.
in a Joel Schumacher film. Strength and courage,
Partners?
honor
Partners.
and loyalty, freedom and justice.
Partners.
It all comes together.
We're going to need a bigger cave.
Batman and Robin.
So the thing about Batman and Robin that I just think is stupid, because there's a lot of wasted potential, because in theory, I'll say this, the plot is dumb, because Mr. Freeze wants to freeze the world, Poison Ivy wants to grow plants freely and have this jungle of Earth, and they combine forces for some reason. Bane is wasted. George Clooney may have been a fine Bruce Wayne with a better script, but he never would have made a good Batman. Robin was fine, but script was terrible and did him no justice. Batman has a credit card. There's bat nipples. And Batgirl was shoehorned in there, and I wasn't too crazy about the actress who played her. And the camp is overdone. I'm okay with a little bit of camp, not when it's the whole movie. And it just runs you over like a truck, and then when it gets on top of you, they're gonna hit the brake and just run the wheel over you and just skin you down. That's an active feeling of what it's like to watch that movie. So, number 8, Batman and Robin. Moving on to my number 7 choice is actually going to be Batman Forever.
Can I persuade you to take a sandwich with you, sir?
I'll get drive-through.
Bruce Wayne. In the flesh.
I'm gonna need that handbag.
Yes. My invention beams any TV signal directly into the human brain.
Mind manipulation, tampering with people's brain waves, it just raises too many questions.
I'll send you a riddle.
The Riddler. I will help you solve the greatest riddle of all. Who is Batman?
Lock.
My place. Midnight.
Chair. Alfred.
I saw the signal, sir.
I've left Wayne Enterprises en route to the Batcave.
All is ready, sir. Let's start this party with a bang!
Your entrance was good. His was better. The difference? Showmanship.
I sent the signal.
You called me here for this? The bat signal is not a beeper.
We could give it a try. I'll bring the wine. Or do I need skin-tight vinyl and a whip?
Like the jacket? It keeps me safe when I'm jogging at night. I need a name. Batboy, Nightwing. What's a good sidekick name? Help me. All right, train me. Let me be your partner.
Blast him!
I want to be close, but you won't let me near.
I'm a part of this, whether you like it or not.
Batman Forever, there's enough similarities to why it's at the bottom of the list, second place to bottom of the list, as there is to Batman and Robin, and it's the same Joel Schumacher director, and he's made decent movies in the past, but these just were not the right direction to take these movies in my opinion. Yeah, Tim Burton may have taken it too dark for what the world wanted at the time, but Joel Schumacher also made it too goofy for what the world wanted at the time too, my opinion. But that's not to say there are not more positives than there are negatives in this context, especially again in context of Batman and Robin. An example, you have Jim Carrey doing a great performance as the Riddler. Maybe not hyper comic accurate, but fun. Val Kilmer is a great Bruce Wayne in the instance that I believe even Bob Kane, one of the people who created Batman, said Val Kilmer was a great choice to play him and that was honestly his favorite version before his passing. Tommy Lee Jones is a little bit wasted. Now, I'm not even gonna say wasted, more miscast, because Tommy Lee Jones is good at drama. Comedy's not his thing, well, not in this context. Slapstick comedy camp is not his strong suit. And I actually do think they did the origin story of Robin just fine. I actually think they did it comic accurate with a little bit of liberties, but the whole principal concept is there. And seeing the classic Robin suit when he's doing the whole trapeze artist circus get up was really kind of cool to see and fun to see on film. And again, it is campy, and the neon greens, neon pinks and purples, and just the neon colors that Gotham is covered in, it's a little goofy. I do like the darker Gotham look because in the comics Gotham is dark, dreary, nasty. No one wants to live there, but people still do for some reason. But here it kind of looks fun. Yeah, it looks kind of trashy, but the electric bill and all the neon lights is pretty good, so they can't be suffering that bad. Again, it's one of those things, I don't want to blame Joel Schumacher, and I don't want to blame the production company either, WB, but here's the thing is that it was just campy and the world didn't really want campy. And if they did, not that much camp. So with that being said, the bottom two is going to be the two Joel Schumachers at the bottom. Moving on to number 6, I am going to be choosing Batman Returns.
I've been down here too long. It's time for me to ascend.
From the sewers of Gotham, a new villain emerges.
You didn't invite me, so I crashed!
From the rooftops of Gotham, the perfect enemy comes to life.
I am Catwoman. Hear me roar. Yeah.
And the only one who can save this city is a creature of the night.
Hey, stud. I thought we had something together.
We do.
while she craves a romance she can sink her claws into.
You're catnip to a girl like me.
He plots a foul reign of destruction.
My dear penguins, thanks to Batman, the time has come to punish all of Gotham!
You missed.
Above Gotham looms its greatest hero.
The thing with Batman Returns, I actually think it went a little too dark for what the world wanted. I like it, but it did go real dark and sometimes it kind of went kind of gross. Danny DeVito as the Penguin, perfect. Perfect casting in the concept of the goal they were going for a hyper-realistic, in a kind of weird way to the fact that he's half man, half penguin, and they just kind of went for it. But great casting for what they were going for. Michelle Pfeiffer as Catwoman is perfection. And though Catwoman's not one of my favorite characters of all time, Michelle Pfeiffer's version is top tier. Michael Keaton is, of course, Batman. He is back from the 1989 Batman, in which he made a huge splash and took out all the haters from believing he couldn't be Batman, so here he is again, making it happen. And Gotham is just awesome. Again, it's a dark, dreary Gotham. You believe Gotham is at least a place these billionaires and millionaires and just common people will live, but it's also not this place of luxury. It's not this place that you wouldn't believe that crime exists, that Batman does need to be there to make sure that things don't go wrong. But the reason it's a little lower on my list is because I do believe there are stronger films in the Batman universe. And again, this movie maybe went a little too dark and sometimes too gross, because Batman as a superhero, though he can get really adult in the comics, really bloody and just dark, we'll say he does get dark. In concept of the movies, he is still kind of sort of meant for a universal audience. I'm not gonna say kids, because this is one that is not probably, of all the Batman movies, I'd say this one's least for kids. But it has that edginess that just kind of takes it down for me, because I don't know how to describe it. Tell me what you think in the comments. Am I just not explaining this right? I just think there's something about it that is good, but while it's here, there's just a handful that range a little bit higher. Let me know down in the comments if you agree. For my number 5 pick, we are officially getting into the Christopher Nolan films with The Dark Knight Rises.
If you make yourself more than just a man, if you devote yourself to an ideal, then you become something else entirely. A legend, Mr. Wayne. A legend.
We were in this together. And then you were gone. Now this evil rising. The Batman has to come back.
What if he doesn't exist anymore?
He must. He must.
And now The Dark Knight Rises, I actually do like it. I think from here up, there are not a lot of negative comments I can make about these films, especially in terms of quality, in terms of production, in terms of entertainment value. So with that being said, The Dark Knight Rises is one of those movies where I was amped for it. It was the last true midnight showing movie that I watched, but of course midnight showings changed after the unfortunate shooting that came along with this movie the day it came out. So there's some history behind it, as well as an experience, but you know what? The movie ended ended in such a awesome way, really ended out a trilogy that really had to change with Heath Ledger's passing, because there's no way this is the proper ending that the Dark Knight trilogy was supposed to have in the instance Heath Ledger had still been alive. Because it's been said Joker would have been a big part of it with a very similar context of what still happened, but it would have been a whole different movie and we'll never know. So with that being said, there's a lot of production issues that may have came into play with writing the script, finding the right way to end it. Marion Cotillard, I apologize for butchering her name. Her character was fine, but her death scene was terrible. It was kind of embarrassing, truthfully. Her twist character reveal was fine, but maybe too late in the film. Bane was awesome, even though he was not very comic accurate. And for a Batman movie, there was not a lot of Batman, truthfully. You have a lot more Bruce Wayne, which I know that's kind of the whole thing, but if you know the Batman lore, it's not Bruce Wayne dressing up as Batman, it's Batman dressing up as Bruce Wayne. Batman's the real character, not Bruce. And if you're a real Batman fan, you'll catch my gist on that. But it's a good movie. It's a really long, nearly 3-hour Batman movie, and once again, not a lot of Batman for a 3-hour long Batman movie. But it is well made. It's a Christopher Nolan film, and that doesn't give it a pass for it being good, but he's not really made a terrible movie. Even if it's not been your cup of tea, he's never made a terrible movie. But it's middle of the road Batman. My wife likes this one a lot more than I do, but that's okay because I like another Batman movie a lot more than she likes it. But right here, The Dark Knight Rises. Going into our number 4 pick is actually going to be Batman, 1989.
Vicky Vale.
Bruce Wayne.
And what do you do for a living?
Lieutenant, is there a 6-foot bat in Gotham City?
Nice outfit.
You look fine.
I didn't ask. I have given a name to my pain.
What are you?
I'm Batman.
Where does he get those wonderful toys?
My life is really complex.
Winged freak terrorizes. Wait till they get a load of me.
Now, I was not alive, I was not even a thought when this movie came out, but from what I understand, Michael Keaton was gonna be hated as Batman. Tim Burton was an inspired choice to direct and people were kinda, I don't know. But then he announced Michael Keaton as being Batman and the world said he was gonna suck and be terrible and blah, blah, blah. Then the movie came out and people changed their minds and Michael Keaton was Batman. And Jack Nicholson as the Joker was probably the best comic book villain performance until Heath Ledger's Joker came out, and then it created a whole new who was better. And that conversation is still out there, but most people say Heath Ledger. And the movie even has Academy Award winning production design, creating a Gotham City that is lush in a dark way, a realistic city for being clearly on a back lot of a studio, but it feels like Gotham. It feels like you just took something out of a comic book and placed it on a screen, and it was wonderful. Jack Nicholson really plays the character of Joker with a comic book style while also marrying a creepy, semi-realistic edge. And weirdly enough, some scenes he just acts like he's Jack Nicholson. Kim Basinger as the love interest was also good. Her and Keaton had good chemistry for what she needed to be with Vicky Vale. And it was a classic superhero film for the context of what they were going for with Batman. Just like Christopher Reeve was Superman, and that created the construct for how more red, white, and blue superheroes were gonna be, Batman 1989 really made it for what superheroes were gonna be when they decided to go dark. And I would say in the foundation of what superhero movies are today, Batman 1989 is actually gonna have probably one of the bigger staples of style and the blueprint of what is judged and made for today. Moving into number 3, we are in the top 3 Batman movies in my opinion, and number 3 is gonna go to Batman Begins.
too small for someone like Bruce Wayne to disappear.
Your parents' death was not your fault.
My parents deserve justice. I cannot let that pass. If you make yourself more than just a man, then you become something else entirely.
Which is?
A legend, Mr. Wayne.
Master Wayne, are you coming back for long, sir?
As long as it takes to show the people of Gotham their city doesn't belong to the criminals and the corrupt.
Bruce?
Rachel?
You were gone a long time.
I know.
Things are worse than ever down here. What chance does Gotham have when the good people do nothing?
Nomex survival suit for advanced infantry. Kevlar utility harness, gas-powered magnetic grapple gun.
What's that?
Oh, the tumbler? Oh, you wouldn't be interested in that.
I spent a lot of time being scared for you. I heard you were back. But the man I loved, the man who vanished, never came back.
He's here. Who? The Batman.
Gotham must be destroyed.
Gotham isn't beyond saving.
Just hold on. Rachel!
Guy dresses up like a bat clearly has issues.
So this right here was the very first Batman movie I ever saw in a theater, it being 2005. I was 9 or 10, give or take, whenever it came out in the month. But it was a game changer to where everybody started to do this more gritty, grounded superhero look and reboots of characters. There's even interviews and other YouTubers that say it got the Batman effect or the Batman Begins treatment, where they're gonna get a traditionally more, as far as the 90s had seen, campy character with Batman with the George Clooney and Val Kilmer movies, but take this campy character but make him dark. They even said with Casino Royale got the Batman treatment. But with Batman Begins being given to Christopher Nolan, who is known for his very gritty, very realistic approach to filmmaking, he put Batman in a real world. Not putting a film in a comic book world, but he put Batman on planet Earth, filming with practical effects, filming in practical cities, with not a lot of backlot studio work. Christian Bale, to me, was probably the best Batman Bruce Wayne combo in terms of actor, which that's gonna be for another list in terms of Batman actors. But he played Bruce Wayne in a great way, maybe not in the most millionaire playboy kind of way, to really differentiate Bruce Wayne from Batman. But he was consistent throughout the entire trilogy, starting with this first one. And his Batman, regardless of how you feel of the Batman voice, makes me respect it entirely because he tried something different. And I've said it before and I'll say it again. I would rather someone try something different and fail than someone do something over and over again that's already been done, because you know what? I've seen things already. If you do something different, I'm gonna at least respect it, even if you fail, which means good for you. But also having Cillian Murphy come in as Scarecrow, Liam Neeson as Ra's al Ghul, or Ra's al Ghul, as however you want to pronounce it, more comic accurate versus the movie. They're great villains for the Batman Begins because they weren't villains we had seen before. We had seen Riddler, we had seen Two-Face, we had seen Joker. But to start these movies out in such a grounded world, they gave us two villains that were brand new, that were just perfect for a origin story. And speaking of origin story, Batman doesn't really show up till halfway point of the film because they're so focused on making sure you know exactly who this Batman is and that we're here for the character. We're not here for the action strictly and solely, even though the action is fantastic. We are here for the character. We are here for Bruce Wayne, also known as Batman, because Batman Begins and Batman's origin story. So with that being said, we are in the top 2 Batman films left, and I'm about to break some hearts. Coming in at my number 2 Batman film is The Dark Knight.
Where do we begin? A year ago, these cops and lawyers wouldn't dare cross any of you. I mean, what happened?
So what are you proposing?
It's simple. Kill the Batman. here's my card.
Bruce, this is Harvey Dent.
Rachel's told me everything about you.
I certainly hope not. You once told me that we'd be together. Did you mean it?
Bruce, don't make me your only hope for a normal life.
You're Alfred, right?
That's right, sir.
Any psychotic ex-boyfriends I should be aware of?
Oh, you have no idea.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We're tonight's entertainment. Well, hello, beautiful. You look nervous.
I've seen now what it would have to become to stop men like him.
The night is darkest just before the dawn. I promise you, the dawn is coming.
And here we go. This city deserves a better class of criminal. I'm gonna give it to him. No! You'll see. I'll show you.
You either die a hero, or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
All right, so hear me out on The Dark Knight. It is a top tier film, not just a good Batman film, but a top tier film. And where it ranks with my #1 film, which of course is gonna be explained here in a second, say if this is The Dark Knight, and here's my #1 choice, it is T and T right here. It's not like one's here and one's way up here. It's here and here. It's not, they could be tied for all I care. But I will explain why I believe The Dark Knight is actually my second favorite choice, because Heath Ledger's in it, one of the best performances of all time in the Joker. Two-Face is perfect, even though I wish he was more used for a longer term than just the last third of the movie. But Two-Face is fantastic. The fact that there's two villains and Batman himself cannot be in two places at one time creates an interesting dynamic, because a hero cannot be at two places at one time. The practical effects really stand out, especially in a world where at this point we started to see Iron Man. We started to see, this was the beginning of where CGI took over practical effects in most movies nowadays. The score by James Newton Howard and Hans Zimmer just swells through the whole film and just really adds this blood pump throughout the entire runtime. And it's just, if you're watching this video, The Dark Knight is top tier in every single way, almost. And I say almost only because there's one thing I would probably go as far as to say that hinders it from a movie comic book nerd standpoint. And I would go as far as to say that it wasn't evident until the #1 choice movie came out almost 10 years later. Actually, it was more than 10 years later, which is The Batman.
Police! Hands up! Stay still! Get out of here!
Fear is a tool. But when that light hits the sky, it's not just a call. It's a warning. I've been trying to reach you.
Burn the gun!
This is about a king, and Ritter's the match.
I can take care of myself.
If this continues, it won't be long before you've nothing left.
I don't care what happens to me.
It's only gonna get worse for you.
Whoa! Take it easy, sweetheart. Hear everything they say, ain't you?
Maybe we're not so different. Who are you under there?
I'm vengeance. black and blue and dead all over. You take
I got you! I got you!
The Batman is my #1 choice for my favorite, or what I think are the best Batman movies, and I'll explain why, and I'm gonna give a Dark Knight and the Batman with Robert Pattinson comparison right here. So bear with me, because I might be jumping back and forth for a second. Whereas The Dark Knight is a great action flick and is a lot more of a true crime thriller style movie in a more grounded world, it does lose the comic book character vibe in terms of it feels like a action thriller featuring Batman, and that's kind of it. Whereas The Batman feels like a true crime thriller pulled out of the comic book and placed on a screen. That it is such a comic accurate Batman that it almost kind of detracts from how comic accurate The Dark Knight is, which is that there's a lot of comic accurate things in The Dark Knight that make it stand out and makes it more digestible for the common audience. But if you're going for a Batman adaptation pulled from the comics, put on the screen, and just says this is the direct adaptation, you get the best of what most movies get of Gotham in this movie. Robert Pattinson, I'm not gonna go as far as to say he's the best Batman. I think he did great compared to what most people give him credit for. He's a great actor. But his Batman's more of a vibe than and a presence rather than a performance. I like the fact him and Commissioner Gordon actually have a relationship, not a partnership, but a relationship as a friendship / cooperative partnership. You know what I mean if you've seen it. There is definitely more of a co-workership than there is with The Dark Knight. More comic accurate. The Riddler is creepy in a Joker kind of way, so you kind of have, for The Dark Knight and the Riddler, you kind of have the creepy bad guy thing on both ends, so you're kind of getting those with both of them. Penguin with Colin Farrell is awesome. I'm excited as can be for the TV show. And two, there's story elements in The Batman that are so comic driven, that are so obviously pulled from sources, that it stands out to how The Dark Knight was Christopher Nolan's take on the character, and that there was enough here's and there's to keep people happy, but in an ultimate way of saying it, because again, these movies are just here and here, with The Dark Knight being just below and the Batman being just above, that if you want your action movie Batman with a great performance from the Joker, you have The Dark Knight. But if you want your comic accurate detective Batman with also a great performance on a bad guy standpoint, and also just a beautifully deep and detailed world of Gotham City that is more comic accurate rather than just being Chicago or New York being filmed by a helicopter, you have the Batman, which is just so comic accurate that it just inches out The Dark Knight as being the best Batman movie in my opinion. Let me know down below, what do you think of the Batman movies? What is your ranking? Let me know down below. Tell me why you believe that my rankings are good. If they're bad, let me know. This is a good, healthy place for a conversation and discussion. I'd love to have that conversation with you. The Batman, The Dark Knight, let me know, because I feel like for most people, those are gonna be the ones that battle. So let me know down in the comments, subscribe, and as always, this has been PH.d TV, and I'll see you next time.